Sharon H. Have you ever found that you laugh at awkward moments? Well, if this is you, then keep watching all the way to the end, because I'm going to explain to you why, and why that you are not alone. Just remember, everything is coming from my own perspective and viewpoint. Take what advice you want and let the rest slide right off of you like Teflon. Let's do this. Come on, odds are we've all been there. You're in a serious or awkward situation, then all of a sudden you're bursting at the seams to laugh. Except that you don't even have a clue what you're even going to be laughing at, because nothing seems to be that particularly funny. Often this overwhelming urge comes with pangs of nervousness and anxiety, clammy hands, and an if I laugh, I'm a goner desperation to nip it in the bud. Apparently it's an absolute common occurrence for the most of us. A phenomenon called nervous laughter. Who would have guessed that for a name, hey? You're nervous as a blue fly and about to make a complete twat of yourself, giggling inappropriately. Which, in my experience, only add to the nervousness. Because you fear not only looking a fool, but being deemed inappropriate or disrespectful with it. It most often happens when we find ourselves in a position of weakness or intimidation, when words are lost to us and that insanely powerful urge to laugh takes the lead. It is said to be called incongruous emotion when we do this, experiencing an emotion when the timing is anything but right for it. It's a bleeding awful thing to experience, and it's not like we can just switch these emotions on or off either. All of us get nervous, none of us want to be nervous, but we also don't want to be grinning like a blithering idiot when it's not called for either. Sometimes we use it as a defense mechanism when we find ourselves in an uncomfortable predicament or situation. I believe we can also laugh nervously if we sense disharmony or danger. Laughter can also be self-distracting and something we do to shield ourselves from grief or trauma. I know there's been situations where someone I've encountered is rambling on with some bullshit or another and invading my personal space, rather than saying, "Hey Buster, get the out of my face," like I'm thinking. I've often found myself backing away slowly whilst giving off a nervous little chuck. It's not uncommon for people to do this at funerals too, or more so afterwards at the wake, where loved ones are gathered and everyone's grieving and there's that woeful, awkward silence. People just often don't know what to say in such awkward situations. So again, that anxious half laugh slips unconsciously from their goal. I personally don't think most people do it intentionally or to be disrespectful in any way. It's just sometimes an unavoidable knee-jerk reaction, human emotion that escapes us, like some sort of stimuli in times that may feel upsetting or traumatizing. There are actually some illnesses that cause this, but I'm going to focus more on the common reasons that are bound to strike each of us at some time or another. It's simply a way to relieve tension and stress when we are in a situation that is awkward to us. It's like we somehow try to convince ourselves that the person or situation that set off the nervous laughter is not a threat to us, that we are in control, it's no biggie, we've got this. Researcher and author Robert R. Provine, forgive me if I've pronounced that wrong, in his book A Scientific Investigation, writes that 80% of laughter isn't caused by anything funny. I'm sure we've all found ourselves in the predicament of having to feign laughter when someone says something that ain't even funny. Well, I guess our defense mechanism is to do the same in circumstances that aren't meant to be funny. But there's always the risk of upsetting or offending someone if we laugh inappropriately. They could take our nervous laughter as us laughing at their predicament, their loss, or them. This in turn can sever connections, be damaging to connections, friendship, and opportunities, especially if it comes across unfeeling or uncaring of them and their feelings, which is exactly what we've tried to avoid in the first bloody place. Hence the nervous laughter. Nervous laughter is often a band-aid to heal or soothe the uncomfortableness in any given moment. it. But it may come across as though we are ripping the band-aid off, exposing or mocking the other person's wounds. Faced with this predicament and struggling to get a handle on our laughter, this can only further add to our woes. It's not uncommon to laugh to mask embarrassment either, or to give the impression if someone's belittled us that they've not got under our skin. Have you ever tripped over your own 2 feet and the first thing you do is look around to see who else saw? Fucking embarrassing, right? And if there are witnesses, what do? Well, if you're not hurt, unless you're a melodramatic, hypochondriac, attention-seeking knob jockey, I'm guessing you're not going to be grabbing hold of your big toe wailing like a 2-year-old. Odds are you're going to nervously giggle or make fun of yourself. Well, they do say laughter is the best medicine, right? I know myself, I'm clumsy as hell. I've got 2 left feet, but mostly because without my glasses, I can't see more than 2 feet in front of me. But I do know if I do fall or make what I perceive an of myself, I do tend to laugh and say, well, don't I feel like a idiot? And odds are I bloody well look like one too. But you're getting my point, right? Let me know in the comments if you've ever nervously laughed inappropriately. If you find yourself laughing at something that is painful to you, or something that someone did that hurt you, or you're not a psychopath, nothing's wrong with you. Again, it's a defense mechanism protecting you from what triggers the pain. And if you blame yourself, give yourself an uppercut. Sometimes we laugh because we simply do not want another to see us cry. Laughter staves off the tears. If you're anything like me, there's probably 1 or 2 people in your life that get you, and you totally get them. And in awkward or embarrassing situations, you just can't look at each other because you know you'll both be inappropriately laughing your off with everyone else in the room staring at you with daggers. Laughter is contagious, and when you are in that predicament, you can bet your bottom dollar you're going to set others off with you, especially where second-hand embarrassment is involved, where someone does something mind-numbingly stupid that you'd be embarrassed by, when they're full on and you feel embarrassment for them, and you look at your partner, your friend, or whatever, and the next minute tears are rolling down your face. Look, I won't lie, I am not someone you want by your side in that predicament, because I'm an inappropriate laugher from a way back. I'm full of devilment, and I can't even pretend that I don't sometimes instigate that reaction from them too. There's never any malice intended, but shit, come on. Sometimes in those situations, you just gotta laugh. And if you're anxious or intimidated, it's often a case of, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. And I guess we are programmed to defend ourselves from crying where possible. So we mask our impending tears with laughter. Apparently, the more shocked we are as humans by something, the more likely we are to laugh too. Again, not because we in any way find it funny, but because our body doesn't know how else to respond. We probably all express conscious and unconscious behaviors. It's just how we are wired. And this in turn, without concentrated practice, makes it very hard to regulate these emotions. And we are in environments where we don't want others to know how we feel. Odds are we are going to get our laughing gear in motion. Most of the time, our laughter is in fact an involuntary act, not deliberate or intentional in any way. Most people can decipher between a fake laugh and a real laugh too. I mean, I've certainly picked up when others are laughing nervously, because in my opinion, it's a different kind of laugh. As I said before, laughter is considered the best medicine, and it's also a universal response. Just like when someone smiles at you, unless they're a creeper, odds are you're gonna smile back, yeah? Just like if you laugh nervously, odds are others will follow suit. Or perhaps they'll pick up on our unease and try to lighten the situation. Whichever it may be, there really is no shame in nervous laughter. We all do it. And unless we make conscious effort to train ourselves out of the habit, then we'll most likely all continue to do it. I have personally found that taking deep breaths, breathing in deeply, then out, can help greatly. There's times to laugh, there's times to cry, but in life, we will inevitably do them inappropriately too. But one thing's for certain, in many situations, it's better to laugh than to cry, and better for others to laugh too. If you found value in this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for being here. Stay awesome. Now go get what's yours.